Operation status quo. Operation status quo. Prepare to engage. Operation status quo. Ready to engage. Operation status quo. Engaged. Engaged. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Operation Status Quo here on a Wednesday as we move through the week. We made it to Wednesday. How are you feeling out there? How's your week going? Let me know in the comments. I care about you and love you. And I'm always interested in what you're doing out there because, we're all one people out there. I'm a man of the people. You're the people. I'm the people. We're all one people. And, we should connect and communicate, really, right? Instead of me just sitting here and talking to you all the time. That's why I don't want to say it like, it was almost when I said that just now, I said how my brain goes. When I said that just now, I was thinking instead of talking at you, let's speak together, right? Get in there and let me know what you're thinking in the comments and such. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to Operation Status Quo. Once again, here on a Wednesday, I am Pete Palma. I am your user-friendly host. I am broadcasting live from the comfy confines of my very own home. And this is Operation Status Quo, the place where we observe the status quo of life, where we learn to flow with the status quo of life. And then, of course, we create our own flow of quo, because that's the only way to go. And I always wonder, what are you doing out there to create your own flow of quo out there? Life is what it is, and it's always about what we make of it. Matter of fact, I was just listening to, there's a great channel on YouTube, by the way, called Next Level Soul. And this guy does a great job of interviews. He interviews a lot of people who are either channelers, mediums, people that have had near-death experiences and such. And, really always uplifting and good information. And, a lot of the things a lot of similar messages, come across all the time, especially within the realm of spirituality and such as far as religions and how people hold on to the dogma of certain criteria within religion. And like I always talk about religion, it's a great thing, whatever you believe in or whatever path you like to follow to help you on your journey in this life. It's a beautiful thing, whatever vehicle you want to use to get to your destination, but to realize that it is merely just that. Once it's like taking a plane to fly somewhere. Once you get out of the plane, the plane, you're done with the plane. It's the same thing. You're on a journey in this life. Maybe you use Catholicism, Hinduism, whatever, Buddhism, whatever religion, Judaism, whatever works for you to be, to follow kind of say, a positive path in your life. But we have to remember that there isn't always one answer to, to all that. And, that's and that's a lot of with these people when he interviews them, talks about on the other side, and then one of the main messages, and I was just listening to one just now before I came on. So that's why, it's on my mind. But, and the woman that he was speaking with, was really talking about, I'm saying this because I talk about this all the time. Amazingly, how basically everything in your life, what you see outside in the world is, how you resonate within. So, experiences like either the guy was asking her a question of like, what do you see for, the next couple of years and stuff. And the truth is everybody's perception is going to be different. Events will occur, things will happen, there'll be situations, but whether they're negative or positive or detrimental or beneficial, really is all in the eye of the beholder and how you view the world around you, right? So, that's, to me, like I love all that stuff. It's so beautiful and liberating, in a way, because again, I talk about all the time here, we're trapped in the petri dish of shit of like, what they say is our life is supposed to be, or what our history is, and all this stuff, and it's so much more beyond that. So it's beautiful, really. So if you can always remember, just before I get into my topic today, I'm rambling here in the beginning, but if you can always remember to give that space to be who you really are, and just stay positive, because how you vibrate and what you think, and that's what I said yesterday. What you think, it's all mindset. What you think and how you feel, and the words you tell yourself, the words you tell others, the emotions that you go down the rabbit hole with and such, all these things are, creating, what you see on the outside, because everything is really neutral, quite honestly. It's all just about lessons and learning, and, it's just, putting information in there to, the world that we see out around us is really just, education, it's just information out there for us to interact with to see how we're going to grow our souls. So anyway, I don't know why I went off on that whole tangent. tangent there. First 5 minutes. How we doing? Let me give you a round of applause. I love you guys. Come on. What are we doing out there? Heyo, for sure. All right, so today, ladies and gentlemen, is the 31st of January. My goodness, we're done the first month of the new year already. I guess it's time to stop saying Happy New Year to people, right? Matter of fact, I ran into I went shopping today, grocery store, and I ran into a couple of my neighbors, and I haven't seen them for a little while, and they said Happy New Year to me. I didn't even think about it till just now, but, I'm like, oh, yeah, it is like we're in February. Why don't you hold, if you want to say Happy New Year to anybody at this point, we're into the second month of the year starting tomorrow. So just hold off and wait till next year, and save it, so when it could be fresh. All right. So anyway, so today is the 31st January, the good year 2024. Today's program is entitled Algorithms Abound. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm bringing this up today because I just had another experience, and it made me think more about. It's not just about me, okay? But I'm going to start with me, but it's not about me, okay? So the video I posted on Monday, which is actually 2 videos because my computer, I had a problem and I had to do a second video to complete my what I was doing. But anyway. Oh my gosh. So when those videos went up, it was like, over the 24-hour period, I think it went up to like, 12 views. Each video had like 12 views. And believe me, I understand my views are minimal as it is. So that's okay. But that's a whole nother story. I mean, that's why I always get frustrated with YouTube when they take my views away. I'm like, for God's sake, if I had like, 6,000 views, I mean, I don't mind. Maybe you take a couple thousand away. But, when I have 12 and you take them all, give me a break. At least leave me a couple. But I had like 12 views on these videos. And then, or was it yesterday? Then yesterday it had dropped down to like, I don't know, it was 2, went down to 2. And then it went back up to like 5, right? And then I just saw it again before I was getting ready. That's what made me change what I was going to talk about today. I was going to do something else. And then I saw those videos from Monday that went down to no views. So they were 12 views, went down to 2 views, went back up to 5 views, and then went to no views. How can it possibly be, right? And that's why I'm saying algorithms abound today, because that part made me think of just my own searches and such online. I think about all the videos that I watch. I generally watch a lot of the same people, right, over and over, and I'll notice that no matter what, like very rarely, it's just some of them. I guess the ones that are fluff enough, that if you're fluff enough, it'll pop up. But a lot of them don't. Like I have to actively seek out the people that I want to watch. They won't pop up in my, you would think the algorithm, right? Because the algorithm's out there monitoring what you like and, what you're searching. So it's going to give you more information in that regard because they know it's content that you would like, right? Everybody's trying to sell advertising and all that thing, right? So that's what they use it for. But I guess they use it for nefarious purposes as well. Well, of course they do, right? We know about shadow banning and and how many people, especially through the truth community, that have been trying to share information about what's going on, outside of the realm of the mainstream media, how many of those people have lost their YouTube channels, their Facebook pages, their Telegram accounts, their Instagram accounts, whatever, just always like, banned, even me, when I started this channel, like I said, when I started this channel, it was, the Pete Palma program. And I'll never forget, because the very first video I posted, and back then I was doing the shows on Twitch. So I started in November, but I started November of 2020. November of 2020, I started the show on Twitch, but then I started in January just taking little clips and putting them on YouTube, to try and get it out there to get people over to the live streams on Twitch, right? But anyway, and the very first video back in January that I had put up, January of 2021, was talking about, the fake pandemic and me doing a little, skit or whatever you want to say, a little piece about that. And long story short, it was the very first video I posted, and I got a strike right away. It was a warning first. Then I got another one some months later. Was I talking about COVID again? Probably. I got hit for, medical misinformation disinformation, right? Which we now know, of course, you see everything that's coming out. We know people are dropping dead like crazy from the jab, the poison jab, and all that kind of thing. And, we know about, all the exposure coming out, Fauci, and how he was really involved, and the stuff from Wuhan, and, blah, 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 blah. So, I mean, it's like, it wasn't like I was saying anything wrong back then, right? So now it seems like a little more lenient in certain ways. People can say certain things more than they were. I do think it was worse before, but the truth is, I don't even know if it was worse. Like, I'm thinking of this now as I'm saying it, because I don't think it was necessarily worse. I think at that time, people were really looking, for other answers and questioning and wanting to get other information out because they saw that certain aspects of, the discussion that could be were not allowed to be, right? Especially had all these doctors and stuff coming out talking about that, alternative methods for, care for COVID, as well as, that the truth behind it, the tests, the testing, and how the tests weren't accurate and such. Doctors were coming out and saying this stuff back then, and, blah, blah, blah. So, they had to shut all that down. Now I think it's just more surreptitious in a sense. They don't just blatantly block you or whatever, but like they'll do stuff like what happens to me. I mean, not for nothing. Like I talk about this all the time. I'm some little channel with 500 something nothing. You guys, I don't want to say nothing because you guys. Let me give you a round of applause because you guys are the best. I love you guys. I appreciate all the subscribers that I have on this channel. But truthfully, I'd like to know if how many of these subscribers that I have even see a video that I do that pops up in their feed. Just like I'm saying, I watch, the Canadian Prepper is a good example, and he's always doing report. I've spoken about him before. You can look him up. He does great work on talking about what's going on with the war situation. He's a prepper. He talks about nukes coming and building bunkers and having your supply of freeze dried food and everything. And I'm not putting that down. I do think it's always, good to be prepared. My personal belief as far as that goes, just to go off on a slight tangent, is that, it's just too much, right? I'm just saying, you ever see the Book of Eli? Do you want to live in that type of world? If everything, goes crazy, do you want to have to, worry about who's going to shoot you next and everything? And I don't know. I'm just trying to say, we could be prepared, but if it comes to a point where they're dropping nukes all over the place, I guess, I just leave it. I leave it to God personally. I say, if I'm meant to be here, things will work out. It doesn't matter how many cans of tuna or, how many bags of rice or bottles of water I have, it'll work out if it's meant to work out. If it's not, then I'm going to be a casualty. And hey, if that's the case, I move on back to the spirit world, which is, I'm sure, a lot more comfortable than our physical existence. So, but anyway, long story short, with Canadian Prepper, I watch, his videos, and I look every day, right? Because he usually does an update most days of the week, and it'll never, ever, ever pop up in my feed. I always have to search him out, and there's a multitude of others that are the same thing. So, like I'm saying, even like I was just saying with my show, my little 500 something nothing subscribers, and, and I get how many views, generally if I get 20 views on a video, it's pretty good. Some are more, some videos I've gotten, 100, over 100, other, some videos I've gotten 60, 70, but, generally if I just put a video out every day, they'll generally be around 15 to 22 kind of views, right? Which is fine. If there's 15, 22 people out there that enjoy and watch, then I'm really happy about that. I have no complaints. But to see YouTube, and why, what am I saying so badly? Yeah, do I criticize the system? Yeah. I mean, do I say we're living in a fake matrix world that's designed to keep us slaves? Yeah. I mean, but I'm not harming anybody. It's I got to laugh at myself for even saying it like that way, because obviously, I guess it doesn't matter how tiny of a channel you are, if it's not putting out something that's generating money. Like I say, if I was doing some show where I'm juggling, or I don't know, the art of juggling, or maybe I'm a balloon artist, that's even better. Say I do the balloons, and you make the little animals and stuff out of the balloons. If I was doing shows like that, it'd probably be a big hit. People would love it. they can put ads up and all that kind of stuff, and they make money from my channel. But they don't want to promote what I'm saying, because I'm talking about just like these other people that I try to watch, that they're, it's always like you gotta, hunt and peck to find them. It's like because they don't want people to send out messages of letting people know how powerful they are inside, and that they have the ability to make the choices they want to make to live the life that they want to live. So that's why I called the show today "Algorithms Abound," because I know a lot of us out there are always looking online to find information. Of course, something comes up, you want to research it, so you Google it and do. And ultimately, I think it's just an important. I'm just saying this today really as a reflection, and to be mindful in our pursuit of information, to realize that we're not necessarily getting everything that we're looking for. Just because you search something and you don't get any relevant articles about it, doesn't mean that it's not existing. There's incidents that have happened in stories, that I've heard through other people speaking of information they've researched. And then if I go online and try to research it, you can't find anything. So it's just, it's just interesting, how, and it's just, to me, I'm just saying it too, to be mindful about being like a critical thinker. You got to be a critical thinker out there. You have to realize that, even the stuff that you agree with and you think is telling you the stuff that you want to know, you don't necessarily know what is exactly true, not true, and again, I'll liken this back to, because I've talked about this a few times, with the transgender thing. And there's there's so much information out there now about, who's really a man and who's really a woman, and all this type of stuff. And I just saw a whole video yesterday of a whole breakdown showing Taylor Swift, and she's actually a man, showing the skull and how it's a man's skull, the shoulders, how she stands to hide her hips that are actually man hips, and the straight back. I mean, it was a whole 10-minute almost piece with all pictures of her and talking about all this and showing. And, I said, okay, I'm saying, now, if you're somebody who just hardcore believes that, every celebrity is a transgender because they're trying to, create this homogenized society that they're doing, brainwashing people and such, you're going to see that and right away be like, yeah, she's a man, and just like I joke about with Big Mike, Michelle Obama, is it really a man? I mean, I think it's a fun concept. I can see it being true because, these people that run the world, that are, these satanic cults and shit, God knows what the frig they do, mixing up genders and playing with body parts and everything else. So, but all I'm trying to say is we still have to be mindful of we don't everything's psychological warfare, and just always have to be mindful of there's going to be certain things there's certain things that resonate with me that I believe are kind of ultimate truths in a sense. But there again, I would say to myself, just like I would say to anybody else, the only ultimate truth is the absence of thought and perception and the silence and the peace of the oneness, which is beyond our comprehension. So any idea that becomes this is the idea, this is the it, ultimately, is just a part of the whole. So, I think everything is true and not true, really. Is there a faction of celebrities and such that are transgender? And, they talk about the Victoria's Secret models. They're all men, so I don't know, maybe they are, I'm sure some factions are and some factions aren't, just like everything else in life. Sometimes you feel like a nut and sometimes you don't. That's kind of funny to say that with the transgender, because maybe sometimes you feel like you want to have your nuts and other times you feel like you don't want to have your nuts. Oh my God. But I don't know. I'm just saying this today because I saw the way my views jumped around, and that's not just on this video, from Monday, it's it generally happens almost every day where I'll get a bunch of my views early when my show is on and when I first, when it first gets posted up and stuff. And then by the next day it drops down to one or two, and then it might stay like that for a while. And then all of a sudden the next day it says 20 again. It's just a weird thing. So I don't understand it. I just think, to say this too, because just to finish and kind of say this too, when you're you're looking for information, you might not, what you really believe in and seek might be out there, but you might not be able to get to it because you don't know how to get to it. I mean, how many channels are probably out there that you don't even know exist, right? That are speaking the stuff that you're looking to hear. And it's just, I find it so amazing. I know with the artificial intelligence now and the way they do things with these algorithms, like I said, it's surreptitious. They don't have to come out and just, like even me, they don't have to give me strikes or, or ban my channel, unless I was coming on here like really being totally vulgar or something and making terroristic threats or something, but aside from that, they say, oh, listen to this guy. Yeah, this is the guy that says fake pandemic and Joe Biden's a clone, and that Trump won the election and there wasn't an insurrection, which is all true stuff. I don't know about the clone part, but everything else is true. Anyway, we don't have to ban this guy. Let him keep talking. We'll just make sure nobody ever sees his stuff. So I don't know. I just find it to be an interesting. I got a friend of mine who's doing a YouTube channel, and his stuff is, he's just started this little channel. He makes little videos. He likes cars, so he does stuff with that, or products that he kind of likes. He'll do a quick short or something. I even noticed that with my shorts. I started doing some shorts and other videos. Same thing. Like the one short I put out, went up to like, I don't know, 80 something views, and then it dropped down to 50. It's just like the weirdest thing, right? Like I don't understand how they disappear. But just speaking again about my friend, that he does these videos, and like, he's not out there like how I do. I post this up on my Facebook and other places to try to, get people to watch or whatever. He just does his videos, and he started when I first saw his channel. He had like 22, this is probably like 3 weeks ago. He went from 22 to like 66 subscribers, and he's just doing his little thing and putting it out there. It's harmless, right? He's not saying anything. Well, I mean, he says a couple things, like he'll point out stuff about like the homeless situations and how our cities are being destroyed and stuff. But he doesn't get like how I get and talk about, every detail of all that stuff. And, and I guess, for whatever reason, it just goes out there and people see it, they subscribe. I don't understand how it could be that like, my subscribers, it never really goes anywhere. I'm not saying I'm everybody's cup of tea, but there's a lot of people on, YouTube, and, I watch a lot of YouTube, and, for me personally, I'm within the realm of, what people could enjoy. It's like, I watch other people that are doing kind of similar. I mean, just come on and talk for a little while and say their point or whatever. So I just find it interesting, like how the algorithms work, and like, now they just kind of do it, on the down low side kind of thing. And there's people out there that are really sharing great information. One of the people that I was watching a lot years ago, and I still watch, is Dave Snedeker. If you know his name, you can look him up. He does the indoctrination. You can find him more on Rumble now. He does some stuff, but anyway, it's just hold on a second. I got a phone call coming in. Let's see here. I'll have to answer this in just a minute when I get done here. But let me decline it over here. There we go. So it stops ringing. Okay. It's a family member calling me. I'm going to call them right back as soon as I'm done here. But anyway, and Snedeker does a great job. I mean, he breaks down, he's into the Q stuff. He does a great job of breaking down, kind of putting it together, the pieces of how the news is really working and stuff, how, because the news is symbolism of, you have to read between the lines, and there's people that do all that stuff, and they do a great job. And it's information that I think people should hear. But, if you just go on general YouTube and social media and stuff, you just hear all the fluff. It's all about the fluff, so you got to watch everything you say. But it's okay. I'm just going to keep talking the way I talk and try, because my ultimate goal is just to share positive messages with everyone. My ultimate goal is just to really, who cares? Stop. We don't have to listen to anybody. We don't have to let anybody else's ideas and rules influence us and what we do in our life. It's all about living from our heart, being kind to our fellow man, having reverence for the earth, having gratitude, for what we have in our lives, and, being our best selves. Those are the messages that I'm promoting here. So, if YouTube wants to, keep taking all my views away for that, so be it. So be it. But that's what we're going to continue to do here on Operation Status Quo. So just algorithms be abound, be aware out there that, and I know you are, especially if you're, enjoying this type of message, I understand, but I'm just trying to reiterate it, in the fact that we're trying to find information. information, and it's you got to really seek it if you really want to find what you want to hear. So, because otherwise, you're just going to hear not only just the mainstream stuff, but then the narratives that they send out for the opposition. They do it on purpose, right? They purposely put people on to talk about the topics that people think are the truth, that patriot stuff and everything else, but they're really giving you misinformation, and they're paid by the whatever, the dark side, if you want to say, to talk about stuff that they know that resonates with this group, but not really giving them all the accurate information that's involved with the stories that they're sharing. So, just be mindful out there, pay attention, do your research, find the stuff when you'll find the stuff that you want to find if you do, you take the time to research it properly. And just be aware that even if you believe in something wholeheartedly and you're not finding the information, that's a pretty good chance it's suppressed. So you'll find it eventually. Just keep looking, right? All right. So that's what I got for you here today on Operation Status Quo, ladies and gentlemen. I thank you for your time, as I do each and every day. I love each and every one of you out there individually as well as a group. Please, if you haven't done so already, take the time to like, subscribe, share, send this out to your friends, your family, those you love, and of course, those you despise as well. I will be catching up with you tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. Until then, Operation Status Quo, disengaged.
Is a boulevard of 10 short blocks.